1, 2, 3. All right. I think we are live.
Good deal.
Good deal.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome to you, sir. What are you welcoming me for? It's my house.
Welcome.
Is it? How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not bad. Not bad.
What we going to draw tonight? I always say we, but it's actually you drawing.
I was going to say, what's this we business?
I don't know.
No. It's actually, well, you know, that's stuff that we're going to have to do one of these days is we need to throw some of your stuff up here. Because you got an iPad too, so we might turn the tables a bit.
That might it might get a little nervous with that. I'm not used to an audience.
Well, it's a little weird at first, but I think you'll get used to it pretty quick because dear listeners, Mr. Kevin here is also a really good artist, and his stuff tends to be. I don't think you don't tend to do like comic book stuff, but your illustration.
I'm not good at anatomy.
Neither am I.
You're way better than me.
No, I just fake it. I come from the Rob Liefeld school of drawing anatomy. I just put people behind things. I say that like I don't love Rob Liefeld, and obviously I love Rob Liefeld. He's the man. But he does kind of do that sometimes. He's actually he's like you look at like over time and his stuff. It's just he's got such energy to it, like it really holds up.
Timmy.
But no, like, who's what now?
Well, thanks you. Thanks you.
Thanks what?
Thanks, Timmy.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's in the chat. What's up, Timmy? It's funny how you see the chat before I do.
So you've got an even bigger delay than I do.
Yeah,
because I've got a delay, but
it's so yeah, that's kind of what's up, Timmy? How's it going? Yeah, Kevin. Seriously, like one of these days, man, we'll have to hook up because you got your iPad here. We'll have to hook up your iPad.
Yeah, I'm scared about that.
It's just his stuff's really good though. It tends to be like
I need to do it more often. I know that.
Well, it's tough.
Yeah,
you're a working boy. That's what it's true. I am not. But
that, and I get home and I just want to veg out.
That's the truth, man.
Bad
the
habit.
9 to 5. The 9 to 5 is tough, man. And it's that's why I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah, many people nowadays, they work from home, and I'm just like, who are these people, and how are they making this money?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's like you see that all over Instagram too. Is like people be like, what was it? There was a joke. I don't remember if it was like Saturday Night Live or I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was just a meme on like Imager or something. But it was like making fun of those people that are like house hunters.
Oh, I know.
And then the house hunters were like,
we have a budget of just $500,000.
Well, it'd be like, it's like, yeah, well, you know, I sharpen pencils and my husband makes like artisan, you know, birdhouses. Our budget is $3 million. Yeah. And it's like,
and they're like 20 years old or something.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, we've been out of school for 18 months and we just figured it was time to own a house on
the Greek island
on
of Santorini.
Nantucket. Yeah. So yeah, what we're doing tonight is, something that speaking of earning money, something I'm determined to get started this week. And of course you've heard me talk about it until I'm blue in the face, Kevin, is I'm determined to get the website with my shop up and running because dude, for like years I've wanted to be able to like sell art prints and sell shirts and that sort of thing. And it's just one of those things that, like you were saying, you know, when you've got a 9 to 5 job and that's what you're coming home at the end of the day, you kind of run out of steam to really build sort of a business like that. And so I've been working on that, and I'm really hoping like by like Friday. I mean, I don't know if you know, but I got a big thing up there on the whiteboard. Like by Friday, I want to have the shop live.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and it's because, I mean, let's face it, I'm still trying to sort of figure out, like, what do I want to do with a channel? What do I want to do with a website? And I've got all this art, and I've had people that have asked for this kind of stuff in the past, and it's like, it's I'd love to do it, but it's just kind of tricky. So I finally kind of threw my hat over that wall, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to start actually selling, hopefully, posters. So like art posters. Like 24 by 36 posters, I think is the biggest size. I might try to do postcards, like postcard size. some stickers, but the big thing is like graphic tees, because let's face it, you and I both have made some T-shirts in our day.
Quite a bit,
yeah. So it's but I've never. But the irony is I've never really done my own stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's my own work, but it's not like my stuff. It's always been.
Sometimes we've had some parameters.
Yeah. And it's like, so the idea of me just sort of making the stuff that I would want to wear, that's kind of where I am with this guy right here. Did you see the Frankenstein?
Yeah, it's really cool. I love how you always get creative poses.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's
like different angles.
And that it's really just like it's really just all about like, I always think in terms of like comic book angles and like the older comic books. Because it's all that drama and that extreme sort of foreshortening and and that's part of it. And then the other part of it is like I like the really like pop colors, like really like anytime I ever do Frankenstein's always like bright green, and Dracula's like red kind of or something.
Hammer horror.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's got that sort of like retro horror, like those posters, those old kinds of posters.
I always love the Hammer horror films, and also, of course, the Universal.
Yeah.
Classic Universal. Yeah,
I got a stack of DVDs over here, and they're all yours that you're letting me borrow, so that I can look at them and remember them. Because, I would never violate a copyright. But no, it's like like those old sort of. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna like break up the shop, so that when you go to the website, and it's not up right now, it's isobond.com. I mean, the website's there, but there's nothing on it, and everything's kind of locked. What you're gonna find is like the I'm gonna break it up into. I mean, because the thing is like I've got this whole sci-fi thing going on the channel, and that's kind of my aesthetic, right? That's kind of like, because everybody, I mean, when you're an artist, you're weird, and that's kind of, you tend to sort of like with you, it's more like you're really good at like nature illustration, and it's all very sort of, it's got that really stylized kind of nature to it. With me, it's all like sci-fi and sort of retro sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek sort of. But I've got this big thing for horror, and I've got this thing for like paranormal. So I'm gonna break the shop up. There's gonna be on isobond.com. There's gonna be 4 main shops, and it's gonna be I don't know.
Little Shop of Horror.
Little Shop of Horrors. It's gonna be My Little Pony. No, it's gonna be like the horror shop, and then like a science fiction.
What shop? Sorry, go ahead.
You're 12, man. It's gonna be like horror, and it's gonna be like comics, sort of comic book stuff, and then obviously like science fiction and science, sort of science fiction / science. And then
when you think science, you mean like the space ones?
Yeah, like those. I mean, because it's kind of in that in between place, and it sort of matches my aesthetic. It's like, it's not really, I mean, it's science fiction-y, but it's just like, I've got these really cool shirts I'm going to be doing. That's right, because you've seen it, but nobody else has seen it. Is I've got these really cool like planetary shirts that I'm doing, and then like the fourth one is going to be, I think, probably like I'm going to do like paranormal stuff. So I want to do like stuff with cool aliens and Bigfoot, and because I love drawing Bigfoot. Yeah. And it's and maybe
do like an infographic or something of different cryptids or
that would be cool.
Something cool like that.
Yeah, like to do like that would be really cool actually, to do like a map of the country, and then have like
Jersey Devil and
tell you what, dude, if you want to do that, we will sell that on the shop.
If I want to do that?
No, I'm serious. Like, let's put it this way, because it's such a good idea. Like, because that I could almost see how that would work for your sort of illustration. So it's like, if you wanted to do that, we could. I would sell it on the shop. I mean, and give you 100% of the. Yeah, totally. So think about it. Yeah, if you want to do that, that'd be fun. So that's kind of where I am. Like I started this one last night, and this is what happens to me like every night. Is like it'll be like. All the work for the day is done. So like I've got the design business, and then I've got the illustration stuff, and then like the work for the day is done, and We got a text message here. It looks like it sounds like Kevin is a little low and he's only coming through on the left channel. Thanks, Timmy. Yeah, and I that's because I'm stupid. Give me just 1 second here. I think I can fix Mr. Kevin.
Test.
Testing.
Testing.
This
mic is a little hard for to figure out how far away I should be.
Yeah,
sometimes because like one time I was blowing out the mic, I felt like, and then other times I'm kind of quiet.
It's okay. Say something now, buddy.
Hey there.
Okay, okay, you're stereo now.
Good. Okay.
So thanks, Timmy. Yeah. It sounds like he's a little low, so I can. That's okay though. You don't have to do anything. I can turn you up a little bit here. Okay. And
Timmy, you're gonna have to come over here sometime too and hang out with us.
Yeah. It's the guy in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, is a buddy of ours, good friend of ours. We also worked at the 9 to 5 with for a good long time. Also a great artist and a designer in his own right. And he's busier and more useful than Kevin and I are. Mm-hmm. So it's harder to get him. It's harder to get him over here for the stream, but we're gonna manage it one of these days. Thanks for that, though, Timmy. Yeah, I appreciate it. I completely forgot about the stereo issue. So anyway, kind of getting back to what I've got here is, so I want to do this sort of horror thing, and I'm a huge fan of The Mummy. I'm a huge fan of all these freaking monsters. They're all just the best. I mean, like I've got, you can't see it, it's off camera over here, but I got all these posters. I've got posters for Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And
the Creature, that'd be a good one to do. The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah, and it's so
he's got a classic and great design.
Oh yeah. It was scary, and it holds up.
Oh man, when I was a kid, oh, it freaked me out.
Isn't it weird how that worked? Because I was the same way, man. Like, so anyway, like, here's the amazing thing about this is now that I'm sort of testing the waters on doing this kind of these graphic tees. The amazing thing is how easy I'm figuring out my workflow for doing this kind of art and literally doing every step of the graphic tee process like on this iPad. And between Fresco and Photoshop on the iPad. Mm-hmm. I can do almost everything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I can even manage the shop and all of that. I mean, and that just blows my mind.
I know, they're indispensable anymore for people like us.
I mean, it's like I had a like a little t-shirt shop, and I sold a few t-shirts. Like it was like 2013 or something, and it was, you could do it, but it was like pulling teeth, and you had to have the computer.
I remember that. I remember when you did that. Yeah.
What's funny is I have a friend of mine, Lisa, it still always asks for those shirts because she loved them. Like she was like the I did one, and it was called Sorta Super.
Yeah.
And
you had like a Batman one.
Yeah, it was like the joke of it was it was all like comic book.
Yeah.
It was all like comic book based, but they were like comic book parodies. So it was like there was one that was like the bat symbol. And it's almost like if you just squinted and looked at it, it looked like it looked like Batman's logo or the Flash's logo or Superman's logo, but the details were kind of funny. So It was like in the case of the Batman one, it was it just said like Rich Psycho or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the Flash one, like the zigzag of the Flash's like lightning bolt on his logo was Stairmaster, and it was
Stairmaster.
Yeah. But it was tricky to do, man. Like it was, and it's gotten so freaking easy now. Like to be able to design, from beginning to end, like a graphic shirt. I guess I better start drawing here.
My day job, I do a lot of illustration as well, and I've started using my iPad almost all the time now because I used to just use my Wacom tablet. To draw, but now I use my iPad all the time. And the Adobe apps.
The Wacom, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's I've to this day I've never actually I have no idea.
I don't know
which one it is.
Yeah.
But I've seen fist fights start over.
GIF.
It's a GIF.
I know it's a GIF, but it can also be a GIF. In fact, the dude that.
Yeah,
I know, like the guy that created called it that.
Said that it's
GIF.
GIF.
No, he said GIF.
Or he said GIF. I knew he took a side. And I was like, no, dude.
Because when you think about it, you don't pronounce giraffe.
It's true.
I don't know.
And then also, but I think it's one of those things where it's like once it gets out in like the, hey, Swifty's in the house. Hey, Swifty.
Hey.
Welcome aboard, sir. But it's, there's a lot of words like that it's like, yeah, maybe whoever came up with the word had, this is how it's pronounced, but it can get away from you. And a good example is Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
It is not Voldemort. In all the movies, they say Voldemort, but according to whatever her face is, because like if you listen to like the audiobooks, it's Voldemort.
Huh.
The T is silent.
Well,
yeah. But
those are some gnarly looking fingers.
He has not had a decent manicure in a while. But
now the original Mummy, Universal, some people thought was kind of boring.
Oh wait, you're talking about the original
Boris Karloff.
What year was it? It was like 19.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Probably 40 something.
I thought it was 30 something. Maybe I'm wrong.
It had to be 40s. It had to be 40s because I think the first one was Dracula, right?
Dracula was 1938. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
And then Frankenstein was next. I think it was next.
Yeah.
Or was Frankenstein wasn't first? Was it? You'll have to look that up.
Oh yeah, let's look that up.
You got to look it up because it's going to kill me.
Dune audiobook are awesome.
The Dune yes, and it is 4 months long. I've
always wanted to like read the book.
Oh, it's heavy, but
yeah,
so good.
It's a long book.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. In case you're wondering why we suddenly changed, Swifty in the comments just said the Dune audiobook is awesome, and it is awesome. I've got that audiobook. And it is that is such a long book. I mean, and it's a little inconsistent in places. Like I think it's, just like anything, like it's not perfect all the way through, but it's so good.
Oh, 1932. Wow, we're way off.
1932 for what?
For the Mummy. Yeah.
Really?
And Dracula is 31. Frankenstein.
Oh, I'm way off.
Frankenstein's 31.
Wow.
Yeah, then the Mummy.
I have shamed
Then the Invisible Man, 33. Bride of Frankenstein, 35. Werewolf of London. When did the original Wolfman come out?
Good question.
The Wolfman was 41. Huh.
Oh yeah, Swifty said 1932 original Mummy.
So Weird Werewolf of London came out first before the Wolfman.
Really? That can't be right. That can't be right.
It's Wikipedia. Everything's right in Wikipedia.
Wikipedia would never lie to us.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Mummy was that old. I thought it was like 40s. But yeah, the original Mummy, I mean, there's a few scary moments, or not scary, scary for that time.
Yeah.
Spooky, I guess, in the very beginning. But then it's just kind of like Boris.
It's almost like, and like a lot of those movies sort of fall into the weird category. Not like weird in like the modern sense. Like people talk about like weird in the original way people used to use the word weird. Like it was like it had sort of it had a scary connotation.
Mm-hmm.
Or like it wasn't scary. Like we think of like scary as like brr, and you're like ah, and it's more like unsettling.
Yeah,
like weird. It's the weird sort of that sort of
that.
Thing. Yeah. And yeah, it like it's like those early movies kind of had that. They kind of had it was the weird sort of uncanny.
With incredible makeup though for the time, especially.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's like I remember reading about it at one point, and it just sounded like a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's almost like I want to say that they use like tissue paper or something on the Mummy, Like
it was something.
Yeah, it was like some sort of like tissue paper,
and it hurt his face. I remember hearing
and it was
about
like
that.
It was almost like glued to it, so that
he was like in pain and agony.
Man, the lengths people will go to do a good job.
What's like the totally opposite movie, but Wizard of Oz had like a bunch of issues with the Tin Man.
Oh yeah.
Because the original,
because they're basically covering him in like toxic.
Yeah,
paint.
the original Tin Man actually had to drop out because they had some kind of like metal powder or gray powder or something like that all over him, and he got sick from it.
It seems like I remember. It was What was the dude's name who played Jed Clampett?
Oh, really? It was him?
I'm pretty sure. Look it up. It was. I'm pretty sure. Whoever the
no special effects to keep your attention.
What's that?
Aluminum paint. Yeah, that's right.
Aluminum paint. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. And it was and he was like and I'm pretty sure the dude who played Jed Clampett in it, Buddy Ebsen's his name. And I'm pretty sure, look up Buddy Ebsen.
You're right.
Buddy Ebsen and the Tin Man.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Yeah. It's I knew there was a connection there.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then I feel like I'm messing this thumb up. This thumb is just not a thumb.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I know,
but
you're nice. Thanks, man. But what was that reminded me of something. Oh, because it's like that makeup, man. Like Highlander, right? I know this seems like I'm switching tacks quite a bit, but switching gears. But Clancy Brown was the bad guy in Highlander, in the first Highlander movie. He was the Kurgan. He sounded like this, and the makeup that he had in that, he had horrible reactions to.
Now I got Who Wants to Live Forever by Queen stuck
that
in my
movie's
head.
Great. That movie's great. I got it on Blu-ray, and I got it. I've had that on Blu-ray. You know what's funny is when I found that on when I found it on the shelf, I didn't realize that I'd never actually opened it.
I have some DVDs like that.
Well, what made me really feel bad about it was a girlfriend gave that to me. And it's not that I didn't love the movie, but it was, I remember at the time I didn't actually have a Blu-ray player. And girl I was dating at the time got me that movie because she knew I loved it. And I remember when I put it up on the shelf, I felt bad because I was like, I didn't even watch this. And John Rhys Davies, Gimli in Lord of the Rings was deathly allergic to that.
Oh, right. I remember that. He was swelled up and stuff.
It was because the last day he had to wear it, they let him tear it off of his face and burn it.
Yeah.
You remember?
That's terrible.
Yeah. And he was apparently miserable.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, movie making sounds fun, but doing stuff like that,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Prosthetics.
Kentucky's got some wild stuff they're working on right now. The state, we now have a Southern Kentucky Film Commission.
Mm-hmm. I know I wish you'd hear more about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've thought about getting in touch with them. Just to be
you're
like, hey,
you're gonna film a monster movie.
I'm gonna film them, dude. Don't tempt me. You know me. I'd do it. That's the sort of thing I've wanted to do. When I was at Western, when I was in college, I loved short films, making short films and stuff. And it's been so long since I've done anything like that. I'd do it in a second. But yeah.
Zoom in on his face just real quick. Once you're done with that part.
Okay, yeah, hold up just 1 second. I'm going to thicken up that line.
That's creepy.
He's got kind of a thing going on.
So what are you thinking about doing with his eyes? You can keep them white, or are you going to make them red, or?
I don't know. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do on color on this guy yet. Sometimes I can't really figure that out until I Like in this, well, I mean, I was about to say until I figure out like a background color. In this case, like a shirt color.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not super sure. And usually a lot of times, sometimes what I'll do is I'll do multiple versions. Like I'll do a layer underneath, and then sort of do a real quick color, just like a thumbnail. And then, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure as of yet what I'm gonna do.
See a bunch of webs on him.
Yeah, he's got like spider webs on him. See that, and there, right there. There's my movie. There's the movie I'd make. You've heard me tell that story.
Yes.
The spider zombies. I'm not even gonna tell the channel because I want to save it.
Someone will steal it if you tell people about it.
Because it's brilliant and
pretty grotesque.
It would make me if you combined Stanley Kubrick with Leonardo da Vinci. That's how brilliant that idea is.
Okay.
Yeah. If Leonardo da Vinci and
so who would be
Reed Richards?
We're not going to explain what this spider movie's about, but who would be starring in your movie?
Oh, it wouldn't matter because it would be like an 80s. It would be like an 80s B movie. It would be like people that you've never seen before and will never see again, and they'll die horribly. And
they'll show up on the Love Boat someday.
Yeah, they'll be like they'll get a commercial for something, and then they'll get in trouble with the law, and then they'll end up being a Wikipedia or an IMDb trivia thing that says they were in one movie that was terrible.
You know what? I heard that the young kid in the original Jurassic Park may possibly be coming back in the third Jurassic World.
Yeah, what was his name? It was
Mazzy or something.
Yeah, it was mozzarella.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. He was good.
It was great little actor.
And I think he was called Tim the Human Piece of Toast.
The article I read too was like maybe the girl would come back too, but she's not. She probably won't because she's not an actress anymore. But
is she not?
I think she's like I think she got into science or something like that.
Seems like I remember that. Yeah, it seems like I remember she went into something fairly academic. So I think we're looking like a mummy.
He look like a mummy.
It's
Joseph Mazzello.
I knew it was something like that.
It's funny. He doesn't look a thing like he did when he was a kid either.
He was in
Social Network. He was also
in Social Network
in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, he was when he was like the drummer or something.
And then he was also.
And it's like you'd never know it. You'd never know it was him.
No, not at all, because he doesn't look a thing like he
Which
did
I
when he was a
mean,
kid.
how many of us look like we looked like when we were? There's a few people like Macaulay Culkin you'd recognize.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows him now, but I'm saying like if you didn't, like if he just grew up.
Elijah Wood looks exactly the same.
Elijah Wood, yeah. The kid from A Toy Story, or not A Toy Story, A Christmas Story, looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
He was one of the producers on Iron Man.
Right.
And he's in Iron Man. A lot of people don't realize that. Did you realize that?
Maybe.
Yeah. He's
it's been like 1,000 years since I've watched Iron Man.
When Obadiah Stane in Iron Man goes to his scientist, and the scientist's like, we can't build this, and Stane goes like, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. And the guy says, well, we're not Tony Stark. That's the kid from A Christmas Story.
I probably did know that when
I
watched it. But.
Yeah, and he was a producer. Well, the reason you wouldn't recognize him is because he really does look exactly the same.
Oh, no, I remember, yeah.
But
he's been in a couple of movies since he's been an adult.
But the reason you don't recognize him is because he shaved his head so that it looks like he has male pattern baldness.
Oh, really?
So it's like he just has hair around here.
Oh,
and
weird.
Like, yeah.
I don't remember that.
And so he looked more like a scientist. I don't know. But that's what he did.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird, wild stuff.
That is some weird, wild stuff, Ed. Yes. Boy, that was a weird reference. No one got that.
No. We're old.
That's a very old Saturday Night Live reference, folks. But that's looking all right.
The kids don't know who Ed McMahon is.
What do you think, sir? Not bad, huh?
I like it.
He looks like he's gonna get you.
He's got that, that horror 3D.
Yeah.
Coming out at the screen. Out the screen.
It's I'm telling you, retro horror, man. That's where it was at. It's almost like the thing that like retro horror was really good at, like retro horror movies and retro horror like comic books, was knowing that you're not trying to scar someone for life. You're just trying to make it creepy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of horror movies today. I mean, there's some good horror movies. But number one, like anything that's like torture porn, I'm just not remotely.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it is. I've never liked stuff where it's just like horrible torture. You know, that's not scary to me. It's not even interesting to me. But there's some good horror movies. Did you ever see It Follows?
Yeah, that was a good one.
It is a good movie.
That was a spooky movie.
It was really spooky. Like the scene that got me was when like she's like looking at her friend in the doorway and it's black behind her, and then the like giant guy just starts walking through it. Holy cow. Heebie-jeebies.
Now, one really weird kind of sick one, was it Hereditary?
Yeah.
Oh, that creeped me out.
Which was, it kind of straddled it's sort of like, yeah, it was a good movie. I mean, it was
good. But it was just like, I will never watch that again.
Yeah, exactly right. And there's horror movies that it's like, oh, I'm going to watch this 5 times before the end of October. And then there's horror movies where it's like, I'll never watch this again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it was a good movie and it was well made, but I'm never watching this again.
Right.
And that was one of them, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh boy, can you tell that I'm not wanting to tackle this hand right here?
Why is that?
Because it's going to be at a tricky angle, and I'm not quite sure exactly what
it's kind of further back.
Well, and I'm not sure what it needs to look like exactly. So I'm just going to go for it.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. See, and I can't tell you like how many times like I'll get into these positions where it's like, yeah, now that I look at it and now that I'm kind of getting into it, I wish I'd fleshed it out more. Fleshed it out. I wish I'd fleshed it out a little bit more before I got to it. Because there's some things that it's like I don't really need to, I don't need a whole lot of detail. Like on the face, I knew I didn't need a lot of detail. Like I knew that I could just sort of, give myself some sort of rough lines, and then I'd be able to just go in with my ink the way I'm doing right now and work it out. And that it would be better for doing that. But it's then sometimes I sort of think that's what's going to happen, like here with this hand. And I'm finding myself like thinking like, nah, I wish I'd sort of defined the hand a little bit better. I think it'll be all right. I think I'll save it.
Looks good.
I think it'll work. So then, there's a part of me, and I don't know. I'm kind of curious to get your take on this. There's a part of me that I almost kind of want to do most of the tees in the isobond.com shop in sort of monochrome colors. Certainly for like the horror stuff.
You mean like the actual ink color or like the shirts?
More like the shirt colors. Like, and by monochrome I just mean like literally just black and white. And then maybe for some of the stuff, like the paranormal stuff, maybe do some different.
No, you're talking about the actual shirt color.
Yeah, the actual shirt color.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. I might be spamming people with like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Before I actually set the story.
Yeah, I mean, white doesn't sell very well, so.
That's true, and that's one of those things that we would know because of
our history.
Our history, and your current 9-to-5 job and my former 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
It was funny. I put a little, and I was kind of surprised. I don't think anybody got it. like any of like my friends and everything. I don't think anybody got it online. When I posted about it earlier, I said, starting this Friday, you'll be able to wear my art on your chest instead of your butt. And I don't think anybody got that. And I won't go into it here.
Now you're really leaving it open.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what does Kevin work?
Yeah. But if you're, it's, yeah. But
yeah.
One of those things. Freedom. No. Anyway, but I don't know. I'll need to figure some of that stuff out. This actually turned out cooler.
Yeah, you're moving along with that.
Yeah. How are we doing on time?
Although it is bugging me. You need to ink those little shreds. They're coming down off
Yeah. You're right. You're totally right. And that does happen as I'll start getting. I think first though, I need to start blacking some stuff in so I can start seeing some contrasty stuff here. We may actually get to color on this one, dude.
You want color?
I might get to color.
We're gonna get our crayons out.
That's how we do it here in Kentucky, y'all.
Crayons?
But the crayons. Yeah, I figured. I thought he needed little like tattered, little something, sort of breaking up the form a little bit. Yeah, I'll tell you. The more you do this kind of work on an iPad, the more appreciation, and I'm not exaggerating at all, the more appreciation I have for the guys in comics, back in the day that did
actual
all this
ink
by hand. Yeah, I mean it's like, because here I can afford to just kind of be like, quick and fast strokes, and thick to thin and that sort of stuff. Thanks, Swifty. And I can afford to do that here because I can always undo and I can erase easily. But man, like
I could never do. I don't have a steady enough hand. I could never do what they did.
Well, I mean, I'll give us a little bit of credit. I think we could figure it out. I mean, if they could do it, we could figure it out. But it definitely, I mean, because like I said, I mean, you're a really good artist. I mean, it's like, I think you're a more patient artist than I am. And well, I mean, but it's like, but the learning curve is got to be just crazy.
Yeah.
To do this in actual ink, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my hand's just not really that steady when it comes to, drawing precise.
Like that's one of the things here is like, you notice
the smoother.
I've got the smoothing turned way up.
Yeah, that really helps.
It does help. Yeah.
I do really like Fresco. I just kind of wish they would update the selection kind of a little bit better.
Yeah, I need to look into that. I think there was some update here recently, and I need to look at what.
Because I mean, Procreate does it really well, where you can select a shape. And mask it out, kind of.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. I need to look into it. I know that there's been some updates, and I think I've missed a couple of the details of some of the updates. So maybe they've sort of.
Your upstairs heats up quick.
It does, man. That's why I cracked this window. Ought to be playing the Monster Mash.
My gosh, time flies.
It does, doesn't it? 38 minutes. That's still not. This isn't bad for 38 minutes.
Mm-mm.
We are trucking along. What I'm trying to figure out now, and I keep zooming back out, is I'm trying to figure out what I want to do.
So when are you going to get rid of the background?
Oh, talking about the pencils?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
First, you didn't do the spider web, but yeah.
I didn't, yeah. I'm not sure what I want to do about the spider web. Because now what I'm thinking about is I'm trying to think, like, if it's printed, what's that going to look like?
It's true.
So you know what? I think I'm going to forego the spider web because I dig that. I think now I'm going to turn off the pencil layer so I can focus on sort of embellishing up the details here a little bit, sort of figuring out what the inks need to look like. Holy cow, that's looking like a thing. I like it.
Looking good.
I would wear this shirt.
You gonna do different placements on some of this?
Yeah, the service that I'm using, sort of it sort of limits that a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Like, I mean, you can do things like you can do like sleeves, and you can do like I can print an inside label. I can print on the back.
Mm-hmm. You can print on the inside label? Like how? Like, what do you mean? Like your own logo?
I can set it up to have, yeah.
That's cool.
So theoretically, when you buy these shirts, it's gonna have the Isobond logo in it. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. This weather, I have to blow my nose all the time. So yeah, I mean, but then again, for like so much of this kind of stuff, though, I mean, it's like this is just real sort of meat and potatoes graphic tees, right? Which means that I kind of want it like just boom.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, yeah, there. For this for sure.
But on some stuff, like
I'm just curious. Like, yeah, I was kind of curious about the back and.
Yeah, like I can do front and back. I can print on both sleeves or either sleeve.
Can you do like a small one, like left chest kind of thing?
Well, the way you do it is I would just position it there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, I mean, so I could do that. So I could do like a left chest and then a back print. So yeah, I got a lot of options, and it's
have you gotten? I know you ordered some samples. Have you gotten those samples in yet?
I have not. I think I'm expecting them in a couple of days, maybe.
Cool.
Good question. Because I definitely want to, like, it's important to me, especially, again, knowing what, you and I have a history of doing professionally. Like, I do kind of want to see the quality of the shirt. Like, the quality of the shirt matters to me. And it's like, and I kind of feel lucky in the sense that I know the difference between a good shirt and a bad shirt for this kind of thing. So I got a couple of shirts on the way to kind of test it out, and then to also see to like make sure that the print quality works, and and that they're comfortable and they don't fit weird or anything like that. Because I really do want to, like, it matters to me that if I'm going to be, selling this stuff to people, I want to make sure that I'm selling good stuff, stuff that they're really going to enjoy.
Yeah, you don't want something, someone's not going to buy again.
Yeah, where it's like, these are terrible.
I like the design, but I'll never wear it.
This gave me back acne.
Ew. This dyed my skin.
Right, yeah. It's this left an impression on me like a tattoo. Now I've got a mummy on my chest. Sorry, ma'am. Didn't mean to.
Oh God.
But
I wore it out in the hot sun, and
it branded me.
It branded me.
Just all these nightmares.
It blended in with my 3rd-degree sunburn.
So yeah, it's I should have those coming in a day or two. Then I'll be able to, and I'll probably post.
He's got some pretty straight teeth for a mummy.
He does. He's it's surprisingly good healthcare in Heliopolis. 5,000 years ago. I think this one's going to be all in the color. Like, the color's really going to, like, make this one pop.
What kind of colors are you thinking? I mean...
I'm going to, my first thought is I'm going to see what real bright yellow is going to look like. And then I have a feeling this is going to be one that is going to be... Because sometimes with something like this, I'll basically do like all these kinds of inks, where I'm just doing outlines, just doing inks, and then the inks are completely done, and then I go back in and I'll just add color, and I never touch the inks again. But sometimes, and this is, I guarantee you, going to be one of those times. Sometimes I'll finish the inks like this, and then do the color, and then go back in and do more detail with the inks. And I can sort of tell that this is going to be one of those times. Because it's like, for this guy, I think the more detail I can get in there, the better.
Yeah. But
I don't want to make it like a just muddy, where it's like just.
Yeah, when you're talking about printing, sometimes you have to kind of, because sometimes certain things bleed and that kind of stuff.
You got to really be sort of aware of like what the thickness of the lines, and this is all going to be direct to garment. So which gives you some real flexibility in some ways, and also has some issues sometimes that you got to just kind of work with. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty solid, dude. I'm digging this.
Yeah, I like it.
I think that is solid. That is some good stuff, sir. Now, so I can sort of see the color a little bit more, what I'm going to do right here is, you know what? Actually, let's do something kind of fun. Let me see. Let me grab. I'm going to grab. No, I don't think I want this one, actually.
What are you doing?
I'm going to throw a shirt template under it.
Oh, okay.
So I can sort of see. Oh, okay. Well.
Have you been using the vector brushes, or?
Actually, I don't think I'm going to use that one. Go ahead.
Or which kind of brushes have you been using? Vector or Photoshop?
I have been using, for this, I've been using, for the inks, almost always, I like to use the, I mean, it depends on the thing, but for something like this, I like to use the ink, just like the regular, like the pixel ink.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you can see when I zoom in. I mean, there's pixels there. But when I put the color in, I'll start the color with vector, and I'll start the color with vector because then it's easier for me to go back and like fill. But I don't leave it that way for very long. It's like as soon as I get the big areas of color in, I'll change the vector color to pixel, and then start back in with this. So I don't know. What are we thinking in terms of color here?
For the back of the shirt?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
for the,
Well, I'll tell you what, because I don't know. For now, I'm just going to do like gray.
Do they have heathers as an option? Heather?
Oh yeah, they do actually. Yeah. So I'm gonna make that normal, and then make this multiply. Sometimes it's a little bit of a dance. Okay, so now I can kind of see a little bit more of what it's gonna look like on a shirt. So then, yeah. So hey, this is great. I mean, here it is. We're 47 minutes in and starting on color.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna select the basic round, just the basic vector brush, and I've kind of been thinking like a bright yellow, because again, I want that sort of like pop horror. And then at this point, I'm not going to be super detailed. I just want to block it in. And what's funny is a lot of times blocking in the color like this, I'll end up getting ideas about highlights and that sort of stuff. So there it goes. Boom. Yeah, I think I'm gonna dig this. Because what I'm thinking now is I'm thinking like yellow and then green.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What kind of green?
Like a lime sort of, like a real bright lime green.
I like that. It's almost kind of like those kind of harsh colors you get in the old like Halloween decorations.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then it's also kind of like the old horror posters,
right? That
were like sort of rough print posters, where they just had to deal with like monochromatic, printing or something like that. Yeah. And so it would get really creative with it, where you'd have these really saturated colors because they wanted it to stand out. And then it's funny, but like the workflow that I've kind of figured out in Fresco with this stuff, because you were talking about like Procreate, and Procreate's good, and I've used Procreate, but for me, especially doing this kind of stuff, the workflow with Fresco and like Creative Cloud makes this stuff a lot faster for me, because like you saw, like just right there, like I just pulled up a t-shirt from Creative Cloud. Did I pull it from Creative Cloud or pull it from Files? I can't remember. But I do that all the time. And
it is a good workflow.
Yeah, it makes it super super quick and easy. Yeah, I'm gonna dig this pretty hard.
Yeah, it's interesting how color just makes it all come alive.
Yeah, like it's like all like it's sort of
those fingers are creeping me out. They're almost like grubs.
Yeah, they're kind of sausagey. It's kind of freaky. But I can remember a time not too long ago we're doing what I'm doing right now, like on a desktop computer, was hard.
Yeah.
And it's
well, there's just something nice where you have a pen touching a surface, and
What do you think about working on glass? Does it bother you?
It used to bother me, and I'm still getting used to it, but it doesn't bother me as much now because the Apple Pencil is so sensitive and accurate.
Yeah, it's kind of buttery smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that they have like these films you can put on your iPad?
Oh, really?
That change it to give it an almost like a papery texture.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I've thought about trying it.
Huh.
Thing is though, is I kind of dig this. Because to me what this feels like is it feels like you're, that feeling you get when like paint is coming out of your brush,
right,
just really smooth and buttery. And it kind of feels like that to me, and that's kind of like my thing. That's kind of like how I,
Mm-hmm.
But I've been thinking about trying. I need to know what I'm putting on the iPad before I, you know what I'm saying? Before I'd stick anything down to it, I'd want to know that I could get it off the iPad if I wanted
for real, or doesn't leave some kind of residue.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently, there's artists out there that really swear by it. But it's like you put a film down, and it's supposed to feel like paper.
Yeah. So looking at this, so you're gonna add maybe 2 more colors, or?
I don't know. Well, see, that's the great thing about direct-to-garment. Because we're accustomed to thinking in terms of screen prints, like limiting your colors,
right,
or doing like a 3-color process,
right.
But it's like for this, no, I'm probably going to do. I mean, I don't know. I won't do a lot of colors because I want to keep that look. But
because looking at it right now, it's like very flat.
Yeah.
Like the arms and hands, kind of.
So yeah, so probably what I'll do is, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and find. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to pick a sort of more orangey color. Let's see. Whoops. Ooh.
Orange.
See what that looks like. No, I want it a little brighter. It's not bad. It's getting there. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is, and this is going to be the part that I just have to explore a little bit.
So is this on a different layer, or is this the same?
No, same layer. It's
you normally do that on the same layer?
Yeah. Well, it depends. I know I say that a lot, but it always depends. It always just depends on what how I see myself building. Oh yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I know I'm gonna be putting a lot of detail in with the pixel brush, and I'm right now I'm really needing to find the blocks of color so I can sort of, like you said, it like seemed like it was really flat.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like now the only thing I really need to focus on for the time being is just how to pull the contours out. And so this shadow in the middle is really kind of pulling him out. You know what I'm saying? And then like once I'm, I sort of do the squint test, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like you like shrink back from it and you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, that's going to be cool. And then I'll go back in with the pixel. I'll just convert all this to pixel and work from there. But for now, it's just easier to do it all with vector. So yeah.
Looking good.
What'd you think of the, I'm sure we've talked about this. What'd you think of the new Mummy movie with
Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what's the shame about that?
It wasn't terrible, but it was not great. It wasn't good.
Yeah. What's a shame about that is that dude can make a good movie.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason he's like one of the biggest movie stars. I mean, maybe the biggest movie star in the world.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, I love all Mission Impossibles.
And you know what? Oh yeah, like they're all good. I love all of them. And I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan. Like I've loved all those movies.
I thought last one was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It was
really
fantastic.
Good. Yeah,
I was watching for like after I watched the movie, I was watching for days, like the behind the scenes, like the helicopter chase.
They always do really cool stuff.
Yeah, Jason, the Mummy the new one was garbage.
The what one? The Mummy. Yeah. The new Mummy movie. I mean,
I just wish if they were going to redo them. Like I really liked the Benicio del Toro Wolfman, and it was kind of similar to the original. So I wish they would do it more.
It had a feel to it.
Yeah,
it had an atmosphere.
It had a feel to it. It was period, which I think that works better for those movies.
Yeah, and it's because
I didn't really care for that new Dracula that much either.
What was the new Dracula?
Well, it's been a few years.
That was the one with not Legolas.
Yeah.
The guy who looks like Orlando Bloom and isn't. I mean, he's a good actor. He's good. I remember that movie now, actually, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a bad movie. Like it was okay.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't like. Swifty says, I'm assuming you're talking about Tom Cruise. You like his movies, but the movies over. Yeah, it really was. It was like, it's like. I've always had this idea that it's like when it comes to certain kinds of movies like that, they need to scale them back so far. Like they just go, they get crazy.
And everything's got to have a twist. It's a mummy, but it's the female mummy, and it's modern times, and
it's a mummy, but he's the only normal guy, and everybody on Earth's a mummy. It's always like some sort of. And it's because I even like I would have been fine with because I really like that actress.
Yeah, me too.
Like Sofia Boutella, I think's her name.
Yeah,
I may be mispronouncing that.
Wasn't she like a model at one point?
Yeah. But she's really good. Another example of somebody who, she was in Star Trek Beyond, and she was Jayla. And it was like nobody really watched that movie because
Oh really? She was the one with the white.
She was with the white and the white makeup and the crazy eyes, and it was like and the funny thing about that movie was that like no one watched it and it kind of bombed because nobody liked Star Trek Into Darkness. But the funny thing is that movie, and I'm a pretty big Star Trek nerd. That movie was good. Like it was like Star Trek Beyond was really good.
The trailers for it were horrible.
They weren't particularly good, but the trailer, and that's a rare example because often the trailers are like, oh my god, the trailer is amazing, and then the actual movie sucks. But she was the mummy in the new Mummy movie, and my first thought was, and she looked really cool, like everything about it looked like it could have been all right, but it just wasn't.
Yeah, Jason says the last vampire movie kept trying to one-up the last scene.
Which vampire movie? I'm trying to.
I guess the one we were talking about, the Dracula one.
Oh yeah, it kind of did, and it was I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but it was just.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't like.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie.
But the one
thing
just
sort of wasn't what people want from Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I didn't like the ending when it's like, okay, now he's going to be in modern times.
Yeah. Well, see, what I want though is I want to see modern versions, but I just don't think you do it by turning it into a giant Tom Cruise action movie. I think you have to figure out a way.
Not Orlando Bloom. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And
okay, that one band down there is driving me crazy.
Which one band? Which band? This?
No, move up. It's going over his forearm. Down.
Oh, that. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. You're right. Good call. And it's like I think what happens is like they keep thinking that we're going to do it, but now if we're going to do these movies now, they have to be bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be giant, epic, super world-spanning. And they really don't like a much quieter, more intimate sort of horror movie is what things like Frankenstein and Dracula and it's what they need.
Well, I guess they're coming out with a new Invisible Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll be okay. I never want to say that like a movie's going to be terrible before I mean, some movies are going to be terrible, like Charlie's Angels. But I don't, I mean, maybe it'll be great. It could be great. But I don't know. I'm just skeptical. There's something about it. I'm not digging in the trailers, and I can't put my finger on it really.
And I've been watching the Lock and Key on Netflix. It's pretty good.
Very good. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fun.
I got a couple episodes left of it.
It's I think the trailers were a little misleading. I think the trailers made it seem like it was like
more Harry Potter-y.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
ooh,
kids.
Harry Potter wacky.
Yeah.
And then there's like murder.
It's
and death
really
and
dark
horrible,
in some parts.
Yeah, don't let your kids watch it necessarily. And then no, I liked it too. I thought it was pretty cool. What episode you on?
I got 2 more left.
Oh, okay, so you're almost at the end. Yeah, it's I dug it. I thought it was cool.
It's about 8:00.
Is it?
And all's well.
It's
now you're making Cheetos.
That's kind of a Cheeto thing going on. Cheeto fingers.
That reminds me of some keyboards we've seen at work before. And
oh yeah.
Some nasty old used keyboards.
This guy who worked in the IT department he's really cool, a friend of ours. He was one of those dudes who's like real unflappable. We won't name him, but he's one of the his personality was always really he was very even key, sort of quiet, sort of soft spoken dude. And one of the few times I ever heard him really get animated was describing getting the keyboard back from this particular person. And is that my computer?
Yeah.
Is that the fan? What's going on?
It's going to explode.
It's going to blow up on you. And it was so funny. Like him talking about like, I don't know how. There were Cheetos embedded inside this Mac.
It was chocolate. He said it was chocolate. And
chocolate. Yeah, Cheetos and chocolate. And it was just like...
embedded inside the computer.
Did she eat in the computer? And man, those IT, I got a lot of respect for that. I mean, when you have to deal with like big corporate IT like that, I think IT Crowd, like the TV, the British
yes,
show,
I love it.
They got it right. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like that. It's
a great show.
Have you tried turning it off and on again? I may need my slightly larger glasses. I need to go watch that.
Me too. It's a good one.
Yeah. It's one of those that like I'll watch periodically. Like I'll just like I need to watch IT Crowd.
Yeah. One series I'm glad I've got the DVDs of, but I'm surprised you can't stream it anywhere. Is Reno 911.
Yeah.
You just can't find it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the DVDs though, but I'm lazy getting the DVDs out and popping them in.
Yes, one of the best. That's one of those like really quotable.
Oh man, talking about stories. One time we were eating out.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were at lunch and it like yeah.
Oh gosh, and like we were eating pizza somewhere and. I got up to go use the bathroom, and I came back, and there were like 2 cops that were sitting at a table behind us. And just out of my head, I was walking by, and I went, Lieutenant Dangle, or something like that.
Yeah, who's a character from...
I was like, Lieutenant Dangle. Yeah. And I just sat down, and you were so mad at me.
Because it was sort of like...
You were like,
and what was really funny is like seeing you when you realized... that there were cops sitting right there, and that you had just gone like Lieutenant Dangle, and
and you were like one of the guys like glared at me when I walked by.
Oh, we're gonna get arrested. How are we going to explain to our
Oh
boss?
god, that was awkward.
How are we going to explain to our boss? Yeah, boss, we got arrested.
Lieutenant Dangle.
Kevin was harassing police officers.
Oh gosh.
I was ready to kill you.
Oh my god, you were so mad at me.
Yeah,
It was funny.
it was. I was like, oh my god. And then the look on your face when you were like, what did I just say? Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
That was funny.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. This is looking like a mummy.
I liked it. I like the highlights you got going on.
Yeah, I think it works. I think it works, and it feels like it's sort of. Oh, now this could be kind of interesting. Now, I'm going to put this on a separate layer so that I won't have to work too hard if I don't like it.
You know, it's interesting. I would never think to do this colorway, but it works.
Oh, you're talking about the orange and yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that sort of bright. Now I love it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
cool. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's neat.
I didn't know that this was going to work, but it works. It just feels like vintage comic horror.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of those really contrasty. And really, you know what's interesting is like you were saying, it's like, and I've been trying to experiment with more stuff like this lately because I was always in the same way where it was like, whenever you see like a really cool color combination, and I would think like, oh, I never would have thought to do that. And then sort of as I've tried to experiment more with these kinds of like wacky sort of retro color combos, I think of it the way they would think of it when they were doing this kind of stuff like back in the 60s. And I think like, okay, what I want is I want this to pop out. Like I want it to seem like really glowy almost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it becomes easier to start thinking of like crazy color combinations. Because it's then you're just thinking, you're just looking for like the wackiest contrast, because it's almost like, I mean, you know, we're both artists that have been working for quite a while, and we've done lots of different kinds of things, and we're always in, you know, especially when you're a designer, you're thinking of like color harmonies and sort of, you know, what's going to look good together, and it's almost like you have to think, okay, what's going to be as garish as possible, and you can almost never go wrong with bright green.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it just kind of always works. It always kind of gives you that sort of crazy, almost psychedelic horror sort of thing.
Freaky.
Yeah, that works. That's cool. Give it a little bit down here, and also like you know, with some of my stuff, like you saw the planet thing that I did. The planet that's blown up.
Mm-hmm.
So like for some of my stuff, I'll you know, I want to do more detail and sort of have more control over it. But then for stuff like this, it's like I kind of want the color to be rough. Like I don't want it to be perfectly composed, because it makes it feel more retro, and it makes it feel more sort of hand designed and like it was printed with blocks. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is going to be cool. Now, what we need to figure out before we put this baby to bed is I want to figure out what I want to do about his face. And I think I've got my first idea.
What are you thinking?
I'm going to try a couple things. But let's see. That's pretty good. I think he needs a little bit more green on his face to kind of just pull in a little bit more attention to the face. Yeah, it's cool. Check it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that. It almost, he feels like shiny. So what let's see. What is his teeth?
Does he need a little bit on that second hand too?
Oh, he might. Hang on just 1 second.
Creepy.
What do you think about the green? I kind of. Oh yeah, you're right. He totally does. Yeah. So this has the benefit of being able to do this quickly. You know, or like this style of art, you've got the benefit of being able to do it quickly, because making it raw makes it better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like making it rough and kind of weird makes it cooler looking.
So what color are you gonna do the eyes?
What do you think about the green mouth?
I don't know if I like it.
You're not digging it?
I'm not sure. It
Let's
almost looks like
try-
it's glowing, like
Well, and I kind of, and that was almost kind of what I was thinking.
it almost.
See, I don't know.
I like it, but
Well,
I
I'll tell
don't
you,
know. Maybe if you put like some like white highlights in there or something.
Well, I'll tell
different.
you, this is what I'll do. Is let me pull this off here.
Like maybe you just need some variation or something.
Well, let me try this. I'm gonna add a separate layer so I can experiment a little bit, and I'm gonna do one where I'm gonna leave it the green, because I think I'm gonna probably like stab some white highlights in here in places. So I'm gonna leave this one green, and then I'm gonna duplicate this layer, and
Which layer are you duplicating?
just the face. Let's see about this. Now that's kind of cool. That's all right.
Oh, that's freaky.
Yeah, it's freaky. I like it. Oh, I want to wear this shirt. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So maybe now we do. Hang on, I gotta clean this up a little bit. Maybe now what we do is
Add some highlight.
let's see. Yeah, let's see if just some stark white.
Yeah, that's good.
That's cool.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it.
that makes it pop
Yeah.
more.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, looking at this,
What do you think about the back, the color of the tea?
I'm not so sure about the color of the tea, but what I'm sort of hoping is that, like with the Frankenstein one, I'm sort of hoping that if I make it bright enough, it's almost not going to matter too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I could put it on black, or I could put it on gray, or I could put it on heather, or because it's so like I want to make the graphic so strong, just like those dudes, doing the posters back in the '60s and
What if you
50s
did
and 60s.
some white highlights on the fingernails?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Is like how to. Oh, here we go. Well, let's try this. Maybe not white. Let's see what happens if I add a little bit of this, sort of pop them out a little bit more. Oh yeah. That's gonna work. See, it makes the fingernails feel a little bit different.
A little separate.
Yeah, a little separated out. So they feel just kind of. Yeah, there it is.
It's freaky.
Yeah. So the one thing that, like, looking at it, because I'm looking up at the monitor so I can see the thumbnail, and the one thing I can see is I need this darker.
Yeah, the chest is a little.
Yeah, and I think it's going to pop them out more. But I think what I'm going to do there, remember how I was saying before, I would go back in to the inks, which sometimes, which I don't often do. Like once I get to the point of color, I generally like to think that I'm pretty much done with the blacks and the inks. But I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to just kind of, I'm looking at the monitor so I can sort of see what it looks like. Sort of more as a composition rather than up close.
Is that on a different layer, or are you putting it back on the ink layer?
No, I'm putting it back on the ink layer. Because this is fairly, like, if I end up not liking it, it's pretty easy to fix.
Yeah, that's working better.
Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Yeah. It just feels stronger. And it feels like I'm fleshing out the 3D. You know what I'm saying? Like he feels like he's got more dimension.
Right.
And I'm actually thinking, yeah, here too. Because it's kind of hiding back behind his outstretched hand. The mummy. Man, I'm ready for Halloween already.
Yeah.
That's sad. He looks. You know what I kind of like? I kind of like the fact that it looks like his fingernails are almost painted.
Yeah, I was thinking.
That's kind of funny. I like it.
Here, turn it towards me just for a
Here you
second.
go. Yeah, that's what you think.
Zoom out just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking I need to add a little contrast.
I'm thinking where the forearm is. It's looking like
I could tell that's what you were looking at.
Yeah.
And it sort of needs just to darken it up a little bit. And I think that's going to make the reaching out hand, the foreground hand, seem a little more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely did not expect this mummy to be this colorful.
Yeah. It's that's the fun thing, man. Like that's my kind of horror. I like that. It's that's better. Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
See, it definitely pops
Yeah,
up.
that makes
Now I need
sense.
to look at the shoulder. I think there's something about the.
Do you give it shoulder pads?
He's got 80 shoulder pads. He's got a power outfit. Now the real question is do I want to add anything like texture? Oh, you know what I think I'm going to do here, actually? I want to go back into that green layer. And I just want to add... Oh, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm so happy with all of the color now that I'm going to start changing these into pixel layers. Pixel layers.
So when you do that, does it actually change the actual art?
No, it's well. I mean, the only thing that really changes is like you zoom in now, and it's got a.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does do that because it's like interpreting the art. It's interpreting the lines. But now I can go back in with a brush that gives me a little bit more of a.
You gonna try to finish this tonight, or?
I think he's almost finished. Like I think this is pretty darn close to finished to me, because it's the kind of art that I wanted for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels retro postery. You know what I want? I want a little bit more. Let's see here. I'm gonna get rid of that because we're not going with the green face. Merge this down. I think maybe, let's see what it looks like if I sort of... What's kind of funny is, and this is one of those kinds of things that sometimes I just have to look at it for a little bit, but it's like, with the foreshortening, because his hand is coming out at you, it's like your eye is wanting to see more detail on the thing that's closer, right? So like, so often, I'll be fairly happy with a drawing, and I'm sure you found the exact same thing. And it's like, but then you'll look at it and you'll be like, something's just not quite right then. And then you'll realize, oh, okay, like if I've got something that's a lot closer and something that's a lot further away, then the thing that's not working is that I seem to have the same level of detail on something that's right under my nose as I do something that's, 4 feet away from me. So it's like that's what I was looking at here. So by coming in here and adding this sort of this pink highlight, not only does it make the color better on the thing that's closer, but it also it's also kind of like, okay, this is closer to me so I can see more detail. And it's like, obviously you're not consciously thinking it, but your brain's thinking it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like just one of those little cues that your brain's looking for on figuring out position of things. It just makes it more satisfying. So I'm going to add a bunch more detail on the stuff. So see what I'm saying? Like it just feels, now it feels like it's closer to you.
Good.
And I may do a little bit more. I can tell you're wanting to go.
Well, I'm actually fading.
Yeah,
I can
fade. I can always tell because like you'll start being like, it's pretty good. It's okay, there, buddy. And it's like, and I'm like, okay.
No, it's been a long day, and
it has been a long.
And
day.
I'm on this new.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. You're doing like keto, right?
Keto thing, and I don't know. I think I'm wearing down.
And I started low carbing, and of course I've done that, and I've had some pretty good success with it. So, but how have you felt today?
I felt pretty good.
Yeah. But
this evening I'm really starting to feel.
It's like you're losing steam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is your day. This is your first day, so I mean, it's like you'll definitely, you've got some adjustments you got to do. But yeah, man. Like I think think. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it's darn near there. I may do a little bit of work after I get off here. Just a little cleanup stuff. What am I doing? There we go. Crazy. But I think we have ourselves a T-shirt.
Looks good.
So I think the plan is this is going to be one of the sort of initial shirts that I threw up on the shop on Friday in the horror store. And I think what I may do is I may have like a sort of opening sale and sort of discount some of the stuff for like the weekend, maybe the first week, and just see what happens. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, I guess we're pretty much going to wrap it up then. What's our time? Oh, an hour and 20 minutes. That's a lot of work for an hour and 20 minutes. So that's not too bad. But I guess that's pretty much it. So if you're watching, I know we don't have a lot of live viewers, but I do notice I do get a little bit of a spike in viewers of the replay afterward. So if you're watching at all, thanks a bunch, guys. I really appreciate it. Be looking for isobond.com to be online and open for business starting on Friday is the goal. And Kevin, where can they find you on Instagram?
Lacertus.
And you got two.
Kevin Howard Art.
Kevin Howard Art and Lacertus. Like I said, also excellent artist. And, of course, I'm at Isobon on Instagram. So if you would, on this video, hit the like button and share the video if you enjoyed it. Or if you didn't and you want to share it with somebody you hate, go ahead. Also, if you don't mind, hit subscribe and then hit the little bell so you'll get notified whenever I go live, whenever I post something. I think I may turn this one into like a time lapse.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good one for time lapse because you pretty much start from.
Yeah, because I mean you see most of it. I mean you don't see the original inks, but so yeah, so that'll be. I think that's pretty much going to be it for tonight. Kevin, thanks for hanging out with me, buddy.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. We will do it again. Definitely Monday, or next Monday, but might do another one a little bit later on this week. Maybe we'll do one to sort of kick off the store on Friday. That could be fun. All right, buddy. Anything else to say?
No, I'm out of here.
All right. Yeah, he's going to fall asleep. Right? All right. Thanks a bunch, buddy. And thank you guys, and see you soon.